Will you help us make that program permanent so we can stop paying dead people?
Yes, Senator.
Now, you served in Washington for years. You're going to be challenging the status quo. You're going to be called crazy. Many people also called Noah crazy. And then the rains came. And all the fact checkers died.
Hello, Patriots. Welcome back to Signal 76, where we don't just talk, we fight for America. Today, we're exposing one of the most infuriating threats to our country's values and your tax dollars. Billions being handed out by the federal government to dead people. Yes, you heard that right. Your hard-earned money is going to folks who have already passed on. While the average American struggles to fill up their gas tank, DC bureaucrats are writing checks to ghosts. This isn't a joke. This is corruption. This is incompetence. And this is exactly what happens when America is led by people who couldn't balance a checkbook, let alone a $6 trillion budget. Before we dive deep into this outrage, make sure you smash that like button, hit subscribe, and comment below, because we need to wake up every red-blooded American to the truth. Stay with us until the end, because I'm going to tell you exactly how you can fight back.
Senator Kennedy.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Vought, welcome.
Thank you, Senator.
In my judgment, I do not know a single person in Washington or outside Washington who knows more about the federal budget than you do. I used to read your suggestions during President Trump's first term, many of which Congress ignored. We shouldn't have. I am delighted that the president picked you. I have read that since 2019, the population of America has increased 2%, and our spending has increased 55%. Under President Biden, I wish him well. If we had discovered life on Mars, he would have sent it money. Is that sustainable?
Senator, it's totally unsustainable, and the problem is that you go on these trajectories that we are currently on, and you don't know when you're going to get to the point of which you have some major problems as an economy and as a country, and we know that historically.
I hope you'll start with the low-hanging fruit. There's a lot. When we sent out stimulus checks to save our economy, $1.6 billion went to dead people, and the checks were cashed, obviously fraud. OMB has estimated that in fiscal year 2023, we sent out $1.3 billion of checks to dead people, which were cashed, obviously fraud. When you die in America, your name is sent to the Social Security Administration. As you know, you become part of the master death file. Senator Carper and I discovered that Social Security would not share that information with any other department of government. So we passed a bill saying you have to share it with Treasury and other people who write checks, so we'll stop paying dead people. Duh. We got pushback, believe it or not, on the bill. We had to agree to a trial period, and that trial period ends in 2026. Will you help us make that program permanent so we can stop paying dead people?
Yes, Senator.
Now, you served in Washington for years. You're going to be challenging the status quo. you're going to be called crazy. Many people also called Noah crazy. And then the rains came. And all the fact checkers died. You have to persevere. Now, I'm not asking you to get ahead of President Trump. But if you were king for a day, tell me how you would save money in the federal budget without impacting the American people.
Thank you, Senator. I think it's the strategy that we had in the first term, which is to go really and take a very close look at the agencies that are spending and wasting money, and I believe weaponized at times against the American people. When they put a 77-year-old Navy veteran in jail, Joe Robertson, for 18 months for building 4 ponds on his ranch to be prepared for wildfires, that's the EPA. I think we have to look at that, and we have to look at the agencies that Congress has a vote on every single year through the appropriations process. And then I think we need to go after the mandatory programs that Senator Cornyn mentioned that are keeping people out of the workforce because they have become not just a social safety net, but they have become a benefit hammock, and increasingly so in the aftermath of COVID, as many of these policies were impacting people's decisions to go back into the workforce. And I believe, and because we produced budgets along these lines, you can get sizable levels of savings and reforms that can lead to a balanced budget and get us back headed in a fiscal trajectory, not only that we would all be proud of, but we could say, this is going to keep us from fiscal ruin.
My time's expired. Ella Porter, do you have anything you'd like to add? Okay. Now's your shot. Thank you, Mr. Vought, for your time.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Good call there, young lady.
Now let's talk facts. Under President Biden, the population grew by just 2%. But spending? It exploded by a mind-blowing 55%. You can't run your household like that. You'd be bankrupt in a week. But in Washington, it's business as usual, unless we stop it. Russell Vought, former OMB director under President Trump and nominee once again, brought the receipts. In his testimony, he confirmed $1.6 billion in stimulus checks were sent to dead people. And guess what? They were cashed. Another $1.3 billion in fiscal year 2023? Same story. This isn't just waste. It's fraud, and it's being ignored. Why? Because the Social Security Administration refused to share death data with other agencies. Dead folks stayed on the payroll. And when senators tried to fix it, they were met with resistance. They had to beg for a trial period that doesn't even become permanent until 2026. That's how broken our system is. But patriots, here's the kicker. The deep state loves this kind of failure. It keeps them rich, bloated, and in control, while everyday Americans foot the bill. Vought didn't stop there. He exposed the radical overreach of federal agencies like the EPA, who literally jailed a 77-year-old Navy vet for building ponds on his own land to protect against wildfires. That's not environmental protection. That's a weaponized government punishing patriots. Even worse, we have welfare programs that once served as a safety net now acting as a hammock, discouraging work and independence while creating a permanent dependent class. That's not compassion. That's control. And we must break it. Patriots, we are on a path to fiscal ruin, not by accident, but by design. The left wants us broke, weak, and begging them for scraps. But we say no more. It's time to reform the system, drain the swamp, and restore sanity to our budget. This isn't just about numbers. This is about freedom. This is about the future your children and grandchildren will inherit. If we don't fight now, there may be nothing left to defend. So what can you do? Share this video far and wide. Call your representatives. Demand accountability. Vote like your country depends on it, because it does. And make sure to subscribe to Signal 76, where we're not afraid to speak the truth and stand up for the values that made this nation great. Until next time, stay loud, stay proud, and stay free.